countries like Singapore, whenever you attend training, they give you tax rebates. In Malaysia, part of your tax goes to a national fund that whenever you feel that you need training or certification, you can just apply and they will sponsor your training and or schooling for free. Countries like Laos, Indonesia, Vietnam, they're also investing in a lot of they put money on their agencies that takes care of their people development. But in our country, I think we've been stuck in the OFW mindset. And I'm not saying that OFW is bad, because OFW has been the life source, the bloodline of our country for the longest time. What I'm saying is we need a mind shift wherein for us to really progress as a nation, we need to make our people empowered and accountable for their own learning. And for them to be more empowered, you need to open up opportunities. You need to support them.
So here we are. I'm Dina Loomis, and I'm your host for today. And it's my great honor and privilege to have with us Darwin Rivers. He is an HR guru, and he has captured my heart because it's in the right place. He really loves helping people. And the best way he is advocating is that they should be given support in training. And I want him to talk a little bit more about himself first before we dig further on the topic. So, Darwin, yes. So, how did you end up in, right now you are with a BPO, right?
Yes.
All right.
Before I start, Ma'am Dina, I would like to say that the honor is mine. Thank you for inviting me po for this discussion. With regards to your question on how will my career journey, for the past 25 years, I've been working in the BPO sector. I started in operations, then moved my way to HR. When I made a decision to shift from operations to HR, I made sure that every HR facet I'll be able to master. Because for me, the value that I give as an HR person would be not being specialized in just one HR facet, but really understanding how these facets of HR connects and how it really molds the culture of an organization as well as the people of an organization. So I've been blessed because I've met a lot of people like you throughout my journey. I've had a lot of mentors that I've met personally, mentors that I idolize at far because they inspired me whenever they do talks or public talks or seminars, and mentors who believe in my own capability to share my own experience and also share my knowledge. I always believe that no one has a monopoly of knowledge. I always tell that to everyone. No one has a monopoly of knowledge. You can learn from anyone, even from an uneducated person, even to the CEO or executive of a company, because each person has unique experiences
Yes.
that they bring into the table. And if
Right.
you're just open,
Oh,
if you're open to listening, if
Yeah.
you're open to learning their experiences, their point of view, and widen your horizon, then that's where learning comes in. For me, kasi learning unites people
yes.
because we have something similar.
Mm.
And if it unites people, it helps in the progression of not only you as a person, but the
Yes.
progression of your industry, your
Yes.
nation. So No, so for me, ano yan eh, for me, ano eh, it's from microcosm to macrocosm yung effect ng learning eh.
Right. And I have been noticing because of the work that you do, you have been also traveling and you have made discoveries about training in different countries, especially in the ASEAN region. So please tell us what you have discovered, the differences in the training, learning, and development of people, different ASEAN countries.
One of the privileges that I've had over the past decade is being able to really observe and learn from leaders of other countries.
Uh-huh.
And for my understanding, every one of us, I mean, in any person and in any country, has the capacity to really excel if there is the right process, the passion in learning, and also the structure where learning would be made available to everyone. And I think this is where I am very sad right now on the plight of our Filipino employees. Because in other countries, they really invest in learning and development. And when I say they really invest in learning and development, I'll give you an example. Across all the ASEAN countries, they already shifted from investing in blue collar to investing in white collar jobs. Um, and for me, that shift is important because it it realized that work because of technology will be more easy. I mean, machines can really replace how people would work on oftentimes. And for you to compete, you need to add more value. And adding more value meaning would be upskilling yourself and developing yourselves. So that's why there's a shift from being blue collars to focusing on white collar jobs. And countries like Singapore, whenever you attend training, they give you tax rebates. In Malaysia, part of your tax goes to a national fund that whenever you feel that you need training or certification, you can just apply and they will sponsor your training and or schooling for free. Countries like Laos, Indonesia, Vietnam, they're also investing in a lot of they put money on their agencies that takes care of their people development. But in our country, I think we've been stuck in the OFW mindset. And I'm not saying that OFW is bad because OFW has been the life source, the bloodline of our country for the longest time. What I'm saying is we need a mind shift wherein for us to really progress as a nation, we need to make our people empowered and accountable for their own learning. And for them to be more empowered, you need to open up opportunities. You need to support them. So instead of just focusing on Tesla, which is our national
Yeah.
uh, talent development department, I think it's about time that we create a department where focusing on learning for white collar jobs, really focusing on how we can uh, uh, be an expert in terms of technology and AI,
Yes. Yes.
being able to have a foresight on what are the jobs that will be lost and what are the jobs that will be created in the next 10 to 20 years. Because if we continue this path of just having that blue collar mindset, believe me, a lot of those jobs will be replaced. And what will happen to other people? So, walang silang trabaho, they'll be left jobless. And if they're jobless, what will happen? It impacts our economy. It impacts the families that they're part of, diba? But if as early as now, you create a system that would really support their development, that would enable them to have hope. Imagine if you're an undergraduate and you're working in let's say a retail store, and you have a dream of becoming a teacher or becoming someone, but you don't have the capacity to pay for training or to go to school or whatnot. Those opportunities should be given to people who have passion. But right now, passion is not enough
Yes.
because you need money.
Yes.
And that's where the problem is. How can we make sure that we support our people where training and development would always be available to them no matter what?
Indeed, indeed. That is universal practically, but I suppose it depends also on the kind of government that we have. I believe
And I think for me, Miss Tingnan, no matter who is in power,
uh,
no matter the philosophy of the leader, there should be a prevailing plan for people development. And it should not be always at the back end. It should be a priority. Because how would you support agriculture? How would you support science and technology? How would you support what you call this? How would you support national defense if you don't create people who have the knowledge to actually do these things? I mean, way back in the 70s, the Philippines is known to be the center of technology in the world. People comes to the Philippines to what? To learn about how we plant our rice, how what are the scientific ways that we do to improve our rice. And not only that, there's medicine was something that the Philippines back then was at the forefront. But right now, because we don't invest in education, or we invest in education, but we stop on the primary to secondary and not really beyond college. I think that's the reason why we have an economy that is not supporting the vision and mission and the dreams of our people.
yes. So indeed, spoken like a true HR guru, it simply means that you are not just an HR guru in name, but at heart, and by example, by the way you think, by the way you advocate for these things.
I always believe that it's really your understanding your passion, and understanding that everyone
Mm.
can inspire
Yes,
people.
yes,
Because if you may have the knowledge, you may have the experience,
yes,
but if you don't share it, if you don't inspire people, if you don't transform people, then it's a wasted opportunity.
yeah,
In, in the Bible, di ba sabi sa Bible, gifts are given to you by God.
yes.
If you don't use those gifts, then you are wasting God's blessings and grace.
Amen. Well, I am just so glad that I was inspired. I thought of you, and I thought how much will be the sharing, the ideas, because I've been following your career,
Salamat po.
Darwin, and I'm just amazed at your track of success. It's really,
I'm just a simple person now po. I just make
Yeah.
use of my time.
yeah, but still, I mean, not everyone has that kind of tenacity that it's there, and I can tell that you care about people. And indeed, I was right. So I'm so glad that we took time out
Maraming salamat po.
to hear from you. So right now, where you are right now, you're with a BPO. What are the things that you do to ensure that your people will get the proper learning and development? What are these things?
Well, I always give them opportunities to we call it individual development plans. I ask them, what are your aspirations? Based on your aspirations, let's create a plan, an individual development plan for you that from this period of time, you'll be able to attend X number of trainings, X number of workshops, will be able to handle and be mentored, and you'll have all the support. So, and I expose them to all, not only internal stakeholders that can provide them opportunities, but also external training and development opportunities.
Yeah, the other thing that has caught my attention for several years now is how you have so faithfully devoted a lot of your time and effort to the Philippines HR group. I mean, um, is that up to now? That's the name of your group.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's voluntary. You're not getting paid to do
When-
all these things. So uh, that has gained my attention and my admiration. And I just cannot fathom why other people are not doing that kind of thing because if I may say so, there are many others who are also into the training and consultancy business, but it is not what we call just dedicated to really for the purpose of training people. It's more of profitability, more of because they want to earn more and more. But yours is a different story altogether. So, when did you start having that kind of commitment?
Well, one point is, I think the reason why the Philippine HR group
Oh,
story is very
yes,
successful
yes,
uh, is because we have a shared passion in terms of learning, in terms of developing people. And my belief again is to have an avenue where people can share experiences, best practices, and knowledge. And it's free. And also being able to produce certifications, training programs that are low cost and would be able to easily be available for the people to apply and finish it. So I think that itself made a huge um, following. Kasi I mean everyone wants to contribute. Everyone wants to share experiences. Everyone wants to share best practices.
yes. I noticed among the other HR group, yours is by far the
We're very
the
dynamic.
biggest
We're very
and
dynamic.
yeah, in the very diversified too. So that is that is so amazing, and you never seem to tire of it. You just, I mean, the commitment is so deep, really.
I, I I believe that again it's not me.
Uh-uh.
The Philippine HR group is composed of volunteers,
Okay.
mentors,
Hmm.
administrators, and these are the people who made the Philippine HR group successful. I was just the I was just the person who gave the idea, and people supported me on my idea, and it organically grew because people got themselves involved in one positive mission, and that mission is let's create an avenue where people would have free learning,
Yeah.
and where
Right.
people would be it's a safe space for everyone to share their experiences. I think that's where it comes from.
Indeed, indeed. And we can hope for a better future for our country if the people in power will only devote a little more resources
That's our
into developing.
that's my prayer always.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. So, um, are there any future events that your group is?
Ah, well, we have an upcoming,
Yes.
which is our annual Philippine HR Summit. It's
Okay.
until September 25.
All right.
Uh, please watch out for the entire information that will
Yes.
be
Yes.
posted at the Philippine HR Group. It's our 10th anniversary in
Oh,
for having the annual summit. So it's a very big milestone for us, and we're really planning to make it really big for everyone. We have master classes
Wow.
where we are now partnered with PMAP and PSTD, and we are inviting a lot of really good um, facilitators and guest resource that would add value to the event. For myself, next month, we are launching a book from PSTD, and I'm one of the authors. And our regular show, we have an online show that just been started during the pandemic. It's called HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho Buhay Iba Pa. It's been around since March of 2020. We stopped January because there were a lot of things that is going on. But I thought that we would no longer continue it. But lo and behold, God has other plans. We are now moving to TV by June. So we're on television through what do you call this, through a cable channel.
Oh
So that's
my
something that we're
goodness
looking.
gracious. Oh, praise God for that. But really, wow. I mean, you see, ladies and gentlemen, just even the power of one. When you have one person who is so thoroughly devoted, dedicated, committed to sharing and giving value to people, training and development. So thank you so much to Darwin for taking time out. I know you have a very hectic schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, learning is a never ending process with limitless vistas.